Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, February 1st, 2022, Tuesday, 4:09 a.m. मैं सूरज सिंह भारत इंडिया से बोल रहा हूँ। आज 1 फरवरी 2022 मंगलवार सुबह 4:09 and back to you about talks, quality talks and coordination talks, title being Quality Works Coordination. Important title these, you can say head titles, and then concrete specification, civil field engineering, life engineers. Red, silver, white books, safety, health, environment, design, construction, methods, arbitration, organizations, communications, coordinations, why, quality of materials. And you can see my identification here in form of my board, entry board, indication board, giving my official titles on roll of this country, Chartered Engineer India and International Professional Engineer India, and my email ID, that is suraj_engineer@yahoo.co.uk. You can see this suraj_engineer@yahoo.co.uk, and you can also see here is my certification, third international professional certification, and also here is chartered engineers and fellow membership certifications, and these are here chartered engineer certification. Maybe missing somewhere, let me open it because I think I missed somewhere. How it will be missed, I don't know, but it missed somewhere, and it's here by chance, and it is chartered engineer certification here. So that is what it is, Suraj Singh, Chartered Engineer India, and also here is fellow membership, and this is file of quality that I've discussed with you, along with file of coordination, that is here. You can say additionally I have put this file on, prepared file yesterday. I started working on this file, coordination engineering projects and engineers, communication support for reliable coordination. Every day I'll put something on this and share with you this information. For time being I put this file off, and this fellow memberships off, and CE, because I'm not to discuss much on this, well, I want to say, and I can say that the CE file is also put off now. I come back to issue, and that is quality, as I'm very much inclined to this. What is quality? How it is? Quality is important for me, very important for everybody should be. I say Bharat India speaks, and actually we in Bharat India must be very much concerned about this. This is quality, and which should impact every life, and just why I added the title as Quality Works. Quality Works before I was inclined to conventional system, practicing system all over the world, and that's a quality system or system of quality, which is just refer to ISO 9001, or we refer to other systems like Sigma, but here I agree with them all, but products that are delivered do not agree with that one. Products from whatever country, irrespective of zone, we find that all products are almost same, and there is no specific country which we can claim that gives reliable products. Products, designs, conventions have all gone into assay. Today you cannot say this product is from Europe, this must be reliable. This product is from America, must be reliable. From China must be. I cannot say. Means first of all, production has been internationalized, designs have been internationalized. Sometimes we find designs are excellent, but production is not excellent. And sometimes without designs we find products are excellent. It depends. But as far as competency, consistency, authentication is concerned, I don't sell that authentication, because sometimes authentication is outsourced. I have talked to many technicians, those who come to serve on AMC, and I ask them, what's the reason that your products are not reliable? We have to contact you all the time. Even if we buy new products, we can't be sure how long this would serve, and during warranty period we have to contact you. In fact, if you see If you see morally and technically, it's only a cover. Warranty period is a cover up. It's not guarantee that product. Why should we give warranty? Because we are not sure of our product. I still remember in old times, not hundreds years back, but you can say 30 years, 25 years back, we used to have products which were, you can say, respected one, honored one. We did not care for the warranties of those products. I was experienced. I bought certain televisions from overseas in Gulf countries somewhere, and there was no official warranty of those products here in our country, but still we bought them. And I still think I respect those companies. The products used to work for decades long without requirement of any service. It happened. I don't know how it happened, but those people were sincere. I can say previous generation, I mean to say if we go back 20, 30 years back, old generation or you say professional generation, they were honest, dedicated, and they had respect for their products. And might be quality didn't work that well that time also. System didn't exist, but honesty existed. Dedication, devotion, and value of character, or you can say value of honor, or you can say self-respect. All these parameters we can associate or attach as attributes to these works, to these companies, to organizations, manufacturing units. Still, that time we said, okay, these people are making profits, no problem. They have to make profits. Profits is not a problem. If you get good product, it is durable, it gives you long life, and you feel satisfied, okay, I got good product. Then issue of system is not required. What systems we should have? Because system is existing or existed, that was reason that products were, maybe it was verbal system, it was fashion, no writing statement, no written statement you can say, and that system was working, and that's important. But now I find situation is completely different. It's not only in our country but all over also. If you go to any country, whatever country you go to, I worked in many countries, and particularly people don't trust these products because yes, the warranty is there, but warranty is not an answer to quality. I don't consider warranty as an answer to quality, rather I can consider it's a safety cover for manufacturers. Okay, it's warranted until time 1 year or 2 year post purchase, and I'm responsible for this. And there are so many conditions attached with that. No need of deliberating on those conditions. But in general, warranty is a weapon to protect yourself, nothing else. I can say, if I buy a product, I pay money, I pay my hard-earned money, thinking and relying on quality. It should be functional, it should be good. But it doesn't work that way, then question is raised and should be raised. It doesn't matter how expensive, what's expense or cost of that item. Cost doesn't matter if product is good. If I buy something, it works for 2 years, and I think my payment is justified. If it breaks in 1 week or 1 month, I don't think that my payment is justified. I would say it's just indirect loot or robbery, that these people want to make profit, whoever it is. I have seen products from USA, products from other countries. I don't think there's any differentiation now. Means you cannot say if you buy products from USA or England or you buy from somewhere else, it is better than if you buy from some other country. I don't accept that logic these days, because everybody has become businessman, everybody has become profit oriented, and when profit comes into picture exclusively and all other attributes are lost, in that case you can say engineering is lost. I should say product quality is engineering related, and when management discipline people and those who are only commercial oriented, if they are involved, and their involvement leads to product only, or you can say, we can say result oriented decisions, means you have to get this much sale. In that case, quality is given a back seat practically, and it doesn't matter what quality is, because they think once you sell it, it's not your headache, don't worry. And moreover, who fights for small items? If I buy some item, say for $10, I shall not go behind it 10 times to fight why I got bad quality. And that relaxation of indirect relaxation by customer or consumer gives an opportunity to that manufacturer to keep on that or corrupt practice. I call it corrupt practice. If you don't give quality, it is called correct practice, corrupt. It may be in production, or it may be in sales, or it may be in service, wherever it be. I call it corrupt practice. For example, I am using Airtel service for this internet. If this service doesn't work efficiently for me, it is called corrupt practice, because I have no control on that. Only Airtel has got control on this. I keep complaining many times, say the signals are fluctuating. I'm not getting any constant transmission of signals. It fluctuates that much that even sine curve is impacted. And if maybe electrical supply, explosions will happen all time. But it is in their control. They think they are controller and I have no alternative. Of course, I don't have an alternative, because even if I shift to some other service, same experience I would have. That reason that these people abuse customers' weakness. Customers cannot be producer or manufacturer. I have to depend on something. For example, I am getting 0 FPS, sometimes 50 FPS, sometimes 2 FPS. And same way, video signals and audio signals keep fluctuating. And that's what I'm referring to here, bad service. But I am helpless. I have no other parallel arrangement or alternative arrangement. I had Tata Internet before. It did same thing as this Airtel does. And you see, they just want to sell. And it's not only this, if you take telephone service, you'll get same response. So what I say, I'm just giving you a reference. I also bought some other items, say from HP. HP, that is electronics company, and is internationalized company. It's very significant company. In past, I used their products and I was happy with those. But now they have become market oriented. They don't care for customers. So that's the reason that I am very much concerned with quality. Quality may be nothing for someone, but it may be everything for someone. I am that someone who is much concerned about quality, and particularly being a civil engineer. I am quality oriented, because civil engineering cannot move without quality. Only engineering world where quality is very much important, and it's a curse on humanity if civil engineers become corrupt. If they think that let it go as it is, in that case, I cannot call that person a civil engineer or a structural engineer. And that's the root of life, root of world development. Civil engineer is that ground, you can say it's a playground where match is played. And civil engineer, if ground is lost, if ground is weakened, first of all, you cannot walk on that ground. So your ground is slushy, or it is clay with water. You cannot walk on that. You will slip. And even if ground is sandy and it's water there, it's difficult to walk. Say ground should be strong for walking, it should be strong for walk. And we say ground is important, you must have certain ground. And if your ground is full of water or logging, you cannot walk on that. So if you want to walk in rain, flood or something, you cannot survive. So quality is something which I am very concerned with, and I am sure that everybody who listens or who enjoys this talk, who is on the same page as I am, there is some hope And I know there are a large pool of civil engineers who are interested in quality system because they are quality oriented people. Without quality, world cannot develop, and particularly in civil engineering products which are long lasting, which should work for decades, only branch of engineering which delivers such products. No other engineering, you can take example of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronics engineering, which is IT, and agricultural engineering, and likewise. All engineerings deliver products which are temporary, which are to live for short duration. Machines never work for 50 years or 100 years. Machines fail certainly, and new designs come in. And they abuse design law, of course. Design means designs have to be revised every after delivery of say 50 or 100 items. So we can say there's some base that the quality of those people varies from time to time. But designs and civil engineering products, construction engineering products do not change frequently. These have to keep on moving, and there are device formula based on which designs are done. But in electrical, in mechanical, of course there are projects like power station, which is a majority based on electrical and mechanical. But civil structures are very important there as well, because without having durable and sound foundations or structures, buildings, these disciplines, these branches of engineering, mechanical, electrical, etc., cannot survive. If there is no good railway track or sleeper arrangement or ground, trains cannot move. Likewise, there is no airport, runway, strong buildings, and like we cannot say air flights cannot land or take off. If there is no good road, automobiles do not work. That's what I am saying. Always ground is given by civil engineering, or you may call it people's engineering rather than civil engineering. And civil engineering is, you can say, kind of raw engineering, because every civil engineer has to work with raw materials or natural materials. Everywhere in civil work, natural materials are involved. It may be soil, maybe stone, or dust, or sand, water, air, or even admixtures are added, which are also chemicals from nature. So we can say civil engineering is like we call natural engineering, or we say sometimes naturalization of immigration. So it is immigrant naturalization, means we migrate those materials for our projects in different ratios, proportions, and we use them permanently on products, that is project deliveries. That's why it is duty of every civil engineer to be very serious about issue of quality. And when quality comes into picture, we can say issue of coordination. And when coordination comes into picture, we can say issue of communication. So what it says is quality works and coordination has both combined together to be called some, you can say, quality system. I should say this is quality system rather than what is conventional international quality system. And we should have good quality with good coordination. And you can say we can get concrete answers in that case. We'll come to concrete. First I'm going to discuss about what I mean by that. I have two files here. One file you can see on board here, Bharat India Speaks. That's my country, Bharat India, though it's for all world, but I'm particularly concentrating on my own country, because first I have to set my home right, and I can pinpoint other homes. And there's one here, and then there's another file, and that we can say is engineering projects. This is for coordination. We can say coordination engineering. The coordination engineering is not new, but it doesn't exist formally, but practically you can say it is very much important, significant, and it's a kind of exponent engineering, not having any formal subject or name or efforts, but unknown acts which are included within known acts. Coordination engineering, of course, projects are related to that, and engineers are very much related to that because engineers are operative of coordination engineering and projects. So when I say it requires something, and that we can say it requires communication support for reliable coordination. This thought came to my mind recently means a couple of days before, while I was going through quality file and searching on net that we should get something that talks of coordination. I tried to find time and check on internet during searching that no solid based concrete material in relation to coordination is available on internet. Only 2 or 3 files I could find, and only one reliable file out of that, which I shared with you last time. I could not get more than that. And really, it was, you can say, if I remember well, I can show you again that file which is based on you can say coordination issue, that is from Australia. This technical coordination engineering practice, this I shared with you last time. Just for reference I am showing it to you so that you remember what I talked of. And this is technical coordination in engineering practice. Its author is James Trevelyan, Mechanical Engineering School, University of Western Australia, which paper gives some reference of interviews conducted with professional engineers and staff, and its abstract is very, very clear, and which is that I read many times. Again, I am not finally pain in reading this abstract. It says that an empirical ethnographic survey of engineers using interviews and field observations in Australia provides evidence that coordinating technical work of other people by gaining their willing cooperation is a major aspect of engineering practice. Technical coordination in context of this study means working with and influencing other people so they conscientiously perform necessary work to a mutually agreed schedule. This is their definition. This is a general definition, not specific one, but no problem. While coordination seems to be non-technical, analysis provides evidence supporting critical importance of technical expertise. Coordination usually involves one-on-one relationship with superiors, clients, peers, subordinate, and outsiders. Coordinating work of other people seems to be important from start of an engineering career. Engineering education only provides limited informal coordination skill development, and current accreditation criteria may not reflect this aspect of engineering. That's what it says something about this, but my approach is not what it says. It is very raw work. You can say this introduction also says something like that. Unfortunately, there are few reliable reports of research on engineering practice. Very few observations have been reported. For example, on actual work performed by engineers, technical managers, planners, technologists, and technicians. Certain processes in engineering practice such as design and project management have been extensively studied yet many other aspects such as maintenance have hardly received any attention at all. This is all more surprising given extensive debates and written literature on engineering education. An accurate account of engineering practice could help educators explain relevance of coursework to students, helping to provide appropriate motivation for learning. Such an account may also reveal opportunities to improve curriculum design. So you can say this is telling something else, no problem. Now we have come back to our own opinion about coordination engineering, projects and engineers. And these two files have to work together. And I could merge that coordination material into this file of quality, but I had intention to talk separately because quality is one system and coordination is another system. Both have to work together. Quality is a gross system as well as you can say minute system. Quality works from top to bottom, and same way coordination works specifically as well as generally. But coordination cannot be done without support of communication, which is a broadest system in world. Communication has no limits. Quality can be limited, but communications cannot be, you can say, squeezed. But it's also important that communication cannot be flawful. It cannot be irrelevant. Talking is not communication. Talking to point is communication. Talking to requirement is communication. We cannot keep on talking irrelevantly. We cannot reiterate same thing many times. It's not useful. Yes, in gossipism, in general talk, you meet your people and talk to them, whatever. That I cannot call communication. That is conversation. Conversation is one part, but that's not formal communication. Communication is something else. For example, we write something and same we speak. If we speak one way, writing is different way. There cannot be same speech as you write, or there can be no same writing as you speak. That is not possible. That's what I say. Communication is a kind of tool, just like we say there are many tools in engineering. The many tools in engineering, for example, computer is a tool. There's so many drawing tools, there were not now. And there are so many other tools which we use for purpose of working out engineering activities in designs and construction, physical tools like that. In Bharat, India, I am very concerned about the issue of quality. I thought that we had good quality, but because I compared it to my work we used to do in Gulf countries, in Middle East, and I learned a lot from there, to be very frank. Whatever I could learn from my professional activities, which I carried out for decades in Middle East, I could not learn 5% of that even in my country, in my 6 years stay and then doing consultancy work here. In my country, I can simply, you may call it whatever, but I can say, I am open to quality criticism, I am open to quality build-up. We people in India, Bharat, are used to talking only. We are confined to deliberations on seminar, webinar, and you can say just to show ourselves through references done by others. We never talk clearly about quality system, about work system, about culture. I'm not slaves to other references. I use references, but not every time. I don't say we shall do this. I say we have to do this. We are doing it. And we have to create that we have done it and it is durable. But as far as other engineering branches are concerned, other subjects are concerned, I have seen this. People talk of them. But as far as civil engineering is concerned, as far as concrete is concerned, I have not seen many talks about quality, many such references about quality. I don't know reasons behind that. One reason may be that people and professionals are not interested in civil engineering. Our civil engineering branch has no existence at all in this country. We believe only in physical civil engineering and not in conceptual and spiritual civil engineering. There can be difference. I see houses being constructed everywhere, private or government or whatsoever. There is no seriousness in that work. I've seen works of concrete everywhere, works of buildings, even foundations, excavations. I don't think that professionals are available on those projects. And if they are available, do they know what should be done? That's a point of concern. If we cannot think, if we do not understand what we have to do, there is no way out. We cannot get anything. And that is only reason that I think to reflect my views on quality system and coordination network. Bharat India Speaks, I have this title, and this title is very important because it is Bharat India where extensive works are done, where people are next to China in population. This means our requirements are number one. We have now we can label ourselves equal to someone, but we have to at least get some standard. Our requirements are huge. Our technical people are, of course, innumerable. I do not know how many engineers who have diplomas in engineering or who have degrees in engineering are available, and I don't count further qualification engineering because that is not for practical purposes. You can say masters in engineering or doctorate in engineering have no direct relation to people. It's only for fancy sake, for tags to be written after name or before name. Please don't mind this. This is a fact. Because if you are not involved in real works, activities to development, then there's no meaning of your being highly qualified. You can sit in office, do research work, you can write anything, but if that written statement does not reach common person and it can be implemented, there's no meaning at all. We are very much interested in those activities which have no direct relation to development, which have no direct relation to works, quality, works production, then it's futile attempt by us. If we isolate ourselves from works, from physical works, there is no meaning of engineering, then it becomes a scientific research and nothing else. And there are so many formulas, so many notes available in journals which have got no meaning. It's just like, you can say, written documents without anything. People will be upset with this, but I say, I have seen that in public or in even engineering community, there is no seriousness about what is practical work. There is no seriousness about, I can say we have no dearth of population of engineers, population of civil engineers, and since beginning I have seen, since my youth, that civil engineers are mostly or were mostly employed by state or by governments. And I keep those engineers out of my counting because they are employees of government and they have no acumen for civil engineering input. I mean to say, if my work does not help a common person in development, there is no meaning of my work. It should help people. If whatever I read, I study, I understand, if that does not reach to a very small work of very small person, it is done only by those people who have no formal basis of engineering, but they have learned something right or something wrong from their forefathers, and they continue that. And then where am I? Where do I stand? Where is my degree useful? Right? If I see steel is lying rusted on ground in water, logging, and it's no one to care about, and it goes into concrete as it is, rusted, dirty. There's no one to see to formation base of soil, foundation. It's compacted or not compacted. It is densified or not densified or improved, or does it work? If nobody cares about that, since money is spent by someone, material is spent, but no one exists to care about that. I'm not saying it happens everywhere, but even where it happens, nobody cares about. And everybody says, oh, I'm doing my job, I'm getting my salary. I do something, it's okay, fine, if nobody questions me. And if you ask something, even that is a qualified engineer probably, but you can't expect that qualified engineer to be updated properly in engineering. And there are so many other relations which do not allow this to happen. So what I mean to say comprehensively, that quality does not work in construction, it does not work in designs. I mean to say coordinated designs. It works in original design, it works in, you can say, only designs in civil engineering, not designs in coordination engineering. If you want to talk to design engineer, you cannot come out of codes, formula, how to do it, how to do that, how software works. Out of that, that designer doesn't exist. Why? I don't know reason behind that. Design is a part of engineering, it's a part of work, it's a part of project. Without projects, there is no meaning of designs, but these people do not understand this point. They are very well educated, having long education years and high profile degrees, but target they don't have. They don't realize what is destiny, what is target, what is our client. Our client is project, not a person. Our client is that building, that is structure. We design. Design is one part of engineering, but implementation of design, which we call construction, is final part of engineering. And if that doesn't realize where does engineering stand, that is main question. So I raise this point to everyone that we have to think of material, we have to think of engineering works, we have to think of life, and then of course to do all this we have to think of contracts. That may be construction contract, that could be EPC contract, or that could be your design contract. And then we have to think of how construction is done, how problems are created when contracts are not correct. We have to know contracts in that case, and contracts can be known only when we understand work, how it impacts work. We cannot just blame contractor, because first we have to blame ourselves. We are design engineers for contracts. You cannot say this is not my job. It is our job because work is ours. I can't hold responsible advocates for that purpose. I can't hold responsible other people for that purpose. It's job of engineers to do projects, and projects are done using tools like contract, tools like designs, tools like coordination. We have to think about that. We cannot exempt ourselves. We can say, I am exempted from this responsibility. I cannot exempt from this responsibility myself, and I don't allow you to be exempted from. You cannot say, I am not responsible. Have responsibility, then you enjoy. Profession is better. So we can say we have to think a lot to many exponential degrees. That's why I'm trying to reflect this talk on our quality system, our working coordination system. Both have been missing somewhere, and I have to find from large pool of rubbish these embedded embankment. My quality lies somewhere in pool of rubbish which have gone there. I have to retract it, and I have to understand where is mistake. I have been in environment of work where I'm thankful to that environment. In fact, it existed in my career, in my middle ages, youth ages. I could understand what degree of seriousness existed in ourselves in those times. And I'm not exactly blaming this, that no one was quality oriented in our country. There was quality without system, but with seriousness. People had been serious. Culture based on seriousness. Even in some cases, government employed engineers had seriousness. And I still remember many such instances. But now it is changing environment. People, actually what happens, if you have struggled in your life, you realize value of money, you realize value of materials, you realize how to get something which is very difficult to get if you have faced struggle in life. And if you all have comfort in life without experiencing what is hard work, what is struggling environment, how to move forward without resources or to create resources, you cannot learn anything. Because you have everything with you. You are a rich person, you are a luxurious person, you have all comforts given by your forefathers. In that case, you say, you are not a resisting person. You are absolutely nothing, because you are having resources and you use those resources as it is your right. Okay, but then you are not a service provider. You are just a service handler. You do not know meaning of service because you have not experienced that. Hell, I'm not going much into that sector of talk. I'm here to talk about quality and coordination, and I say everywhere, get up quality. That is first title, get up quality, because I want to walk with you. I want to use you. Don't sleep. Don't sleep, stop sleeping, and if you have taken rest, come on, get up. We have to go for a morning walk. That point we have to keep. Morning walk or evening walk. We have to walk together to see entire world. So therefore I say, get up quality, and come on, brush your teeth and we go for a walk. You are my friend and be my friend. Don't run away. I know you don't like me, but even then I have to use you. You don't love me, no problem, but I have to like you. One day you shall like me, I know. So be my friend, because I cannot work in my profession without you. If I don't use you, I don't respect you, my profession does not remain profession. It remains nothing. I can not work in nothing. I have to work on something. So I want to be professional. I want to keep myself professional, therefore, quality, don't run away. I hold you with respect. I hold you with upright position. I salute you that you work with me. We have to be friends together for all others, not just one to one. We have to move together, using you, respecting you, honoring you, and therefore quality. You cannot leave. You have left, I know, but you have to come back. Come home. You are welcome. Quality, you cannot leave me because you are my destiny and for nation as well. If you are my destiny, you are destiny of my family, you are destiny of my state, you are destiny of my nation, and therefore you are our future. You have to work now with us, and we will stay there forever, and that is what I talk to you, and therefore can say others may not, but engineers can handle you successfully. We have learned this through our conference, through our brainstorming, through our analytical arrangements in mind. Others may not, but professionals can handle you successfully, and this is our job, and we have to earn you by converting ourselves into quality professionals from non-quality professionals. So we say, if you have quality, we can call you professionals, and if you don't have quality, we cannot call ourselves professionals. Therefore, we have to handle you, we have to link with you, we have to do everything with you, and that is where I stand, and everyone other engineer stands. And they are assumed to stand as such. No engineer can walk without you, no engineer can talk without you. That situation is appreciable, and I am sure every engineer accepts this, because engineer means quality person. If one is not quality person, one cannot be called engineer, at least. That is an acceptable fact. You have to stay with us permanently. May go, may come, but you have to stay with us in engineering professions and also other walks of life. And I know if we improve ourselves, you can be more and more on our end. That is also well-known factor, because without you, I cannot do anything. I only can waste my money, I can waste my material, I can waste my time if I don't have you. Therefore, Mr. and Mrs. Quality, or respectable quality, or honorable quality, I keep you on my head. You have to stay with me, stay with me. I have to apply you in my work. I have to apply you in every subject of my work, in every activity of my work. Even in my thoughts, I have to apply you. Even in my contemplation, I have to apply you. In my designs, I have to apply you. In my physical work activity, I have to apply you. In my services, I have to apply you. In my personality, I have to apply you. In my personality interaction, I have to apply you. So you cannot say, I don't respect you. Therefore, I have to apply you in my approach of quality engineering, or you can say, whatever work I do, it may be on designs, working designs, you are a must. Manufacturing, you are a must. Or you can say construction, you are a must. Wherever you are there and it's a must. So, continuously to do assessment for working, considerations for quality goals in all works. And that's why I say works quality in Bharat, India, That is what we have to say to ourselves. As an engineer, I have to say to myself, I have to instruct myself. Fixed quality in Bharat, India, come what may, no excuse for concessions. We say in contracts, in major contracts, concession is granted. But here, I do not demand any concession. I want only accession to quality. Accession is important here. I have to access to quality, and in turn, quality has access to me. That is point of requirement, point of concern. And if I cannot do it, then I cheat myself, I can say. Therefore, I can call you madam or sir, I don't know what to call you. I simply call you honorable. You're my honorable, not guest, but honorable my member. Therefore, my member should be with me, not with others. And that's why I change my thoughts. I say, I don't exclusively depend on quality system, but quality. And that is works quality. Whatever works I do, that should be quality oriented. And I don't want to change it. I have to with work. I have to be with work. Works quality cannot be compromised, and therefore we do not intend to compromise. Just in name of fragile existing quality system, compliance formality and excuse. Now I come back to this quality system little later. Now I just jump onto same file that is indirectly related to quality, but it is engineers. That I said here, new title, and that is Coordination Engineering, which is a part of top level quality working. Coordination engineering, we have to understand first of all what is coordination. Many people would speak many ways, of course. Everybody has different concept, different philosophy, different analysis of understanding, and depending on which profession you work in, one works in, that person has to talk of based on that profession, and there's nothing incorrect in that. Coordination is very common word. It is used in our life. In fact, in Hindi we call it samanvay. Means what is that? Means there should be right time for right application. There should be right approach for right work. You can leave something on road and go away. Whatever we do, it should be done perfectly. It's like that we don't give time to unknown. When we have decided to work something, that is a decision making. When we have to decide to something, it's not simple decision. We have to plan for that. And of course, decision making itself is a part of planning. How to carry out, how to implement that decision is another part of life. And it should be considered with original act of decision making. Decision making and decision application or implementation, or you can say implementation or execution, are all linked in one string. If something is to be done after a long time, how can I decide that to be done now? So we will not make any decision on that. We will just decide what we have to do now. When we say coordination, first of all we have to understand its article meaning. What is real meaning of coordination? What's the basis of design of this terminology coordination, or this article you can say? Because many words have hidden meanings in them, and article itself tells what's meaning of this. We know in our mathematics there are graphics, and graphics there are axes. If you take two planar arrangement, There is XOX axis and YOY axis, generally we call horizontal vertical. So not vertical, but just for understanding purpose. And there is also Z axis. Now we are talking of XOX axis and YOY axis. XO axis we generally call abscissa, means horizontally it has same value. If you move on right side of horizon, where two lines meet, the origin is that one. Horizontally it is X axis, which is abscissa. This value changes on horizontal mobility. And if we consider YOY axis, which is called ordinate, here values move vertically, but it is same plan. We imagine this vertical because we have to understand vertical mobility. Now, ordinates we call vertical and abscissa we call horizontal. I can move on horizontal ground myself, but on vertical grounds everybody is moving. Everybody is moving on same line. I have to think of others. Whoever is involved in my work, because my work is not only my work. I do myself, I place myself only as a part of many other places in work. One work may have many involvements, many items, many activities and relations to others. No work is exclusively dependent on me. And those dependency factors come into play. All others have to come with my work if work is to be succeeded. And if so, I only contribute my portion, let other portions, they take care of themselves. Then work shall be delayed. It shall not be effective because my part may extinguish. My part may extinguish. You got my point. First of all, it says coordination. Means a kind of association, a kind of working together. So, whoever are other ordinates, whoever are vertical independents, with my work and I with them, if we know when I have to work, or if we all know when we have to work, what we have to work, how we have to work, this means we have to know that in common. You cannot say my timing is this and your time you decide, I don't care, and that answer does not mean anything. If work is to be realized, we have to be clear in that understanding. And that is where I can say timing plays a role. If everybody knows what time we have to do it, then everybody should be present there. If not in person, with materials or with other related items. What time is there? How we have to do that? Who shall look after what? And you can say responsibility, description, and also material presence or whatever resources are required for that one activity. That is study, you can say, kind of study of all these factors to be done. But who shall license that? Who shall relate that with others? And that who is not available here? Who is here? Who can look after? Who can converse with us? Who can talk with us? Because everybody is remoted. Everybody locates somewhere else, but work is at one place. Whatever information is ready, now how many information are required, that is out of question because every act is different. Sometimes acts, I have not seen any act where just one person is enough to do something. How many persons are there? What quantity of material is there? How many, other resources are required? What method is to be done? What method we have to use? And how we have to carry out. All these points are to be considered. And these points, you can say, forms formulates itself into a kind of mini network of that quality, not quality, activity. And that network is to be cracked. It's a kind of nut. We have to open that nut and see how network can be formed. First of all, it shall form itself because of requirement, and then requirement is to be checked whether or not it is correct. Once we have to do all this, and work time comes, means we have to set one time. Our time is automatically sets, it dictates us whatever way it is. We have to stick to that, adhere to that, and do that job. Now, this small process that I explained in elaborate style, everybody understands it. Everybody understands it. We very commonly know, if I say to someone, we are doing this, we shall meet at that place, and that person say, okay, we meet that place. It is nothing but a kind of mutual consent, mutual agreement, that we agree on every act in life. And such acts are not limited, such acts are not numbered. Every day we do such, maybe in gossipism or in affection or as a part of responsibility. When issue comes to part of responsibility, not game only or not personal life, it relates to profession, it relates to work, it amounts to different measurement, it amounts to different values. How to measure is not clear, but how to do is clear. So what I mean to say, coordination is not single person handed. Single person is not handable. You cannot say it shall automatically happen. It shall not automatically happen also, because many persons are involved. Many persons are involved in doing one activity. At least two persons must be there, if not more. I would say minimum two persons are involved, and maximum can be any number, can be whatever number, no limit. When these persons have known that they have to work, they have known what they have to do, all requirements they know, you can say this is called material available for purpose of doing job. Now this available material, which includes all materials, all resources, is to be implemented. And how to do that, no one can decide in this present available. If someone can decide, it's fine, but someone shall have to decide. Someone shall have to lead here. Someone shall have to coordinate here, we say, coordinate. This activity which I am trying to explain, this is called procedure of coordination. All coordinates means ordinates together. Maybe there are 4 ordinates, 5 ordinates, 1, 2 ordinates, 3 ordinates, depending on requirement, depending on disciplines. There can be more than that. Those ordinates or those standing guys with all resources, they should all come to one point, and that point is called coordinated point. That point says everyone is available, all information is available, all resources are available. We have availability of what to do, how to do, and that ease of doing, or that convenience of doing, which successfully goes on. And all this process we call say coordination. It's not definition in terms of sentence, it's definition in terms of understanding. If we make our understanding clear, we can do a lot. This understanding is coordination. And when it comes to play its role in engineering, it's called engineering coordination, which is very high profile work because it is specialized and specific work. It's not general. In general life, we deal coordination every day, every hour, at our home, in public, as well as elsewhere. We coordinate with unknowns also. We coordinate with knowns. We coordinate about what we do. We also coordinate what we don't do. But it has to be done. So definition of coordination, in simple terminology we can say, whatever requirement exists, it has to exist, it has to work by whoever is responsible for that, that person has to work when it's required that time, and whenever timing is decided, everyone whose time is decided must do at that time, and all requirements meet at this focus and work. And this focus, you can name anything, whatever, but we can say when everyone is ready to perform respective act, that state is called coordination. Coordination in engineering is very heavy, it's very powerful, and if you don't care for that, engineering cannot be called engineering, it's called just whatever you name it, doing whatever. But when you say engineering, this means it is specialized, because engineering is specialized. It's not normal, it is abnormal, it is professional. And when we say professional, means advancement is involved, advanced information is involved, advanced style, advanced title, advanced details, advanced subjects, all are involved. So we can say coordination is something we have to understand. Coordination engineering is very important on projects and for engineers, and we can say communication support for reliable coordination. That's what we mean by that. What is communication support? This is communication support. Without communication we cannot do anything. And we can say, if you take that communication support for reliable coordination, it is a must. No communication means no coordination, and communication diverse. How to communicate, that depends upon requirement, it depends upon your determination. Coordination means a process of doing job perfectly. In communication means you have to talk to others whatever way you think is good. It may be in writing, it may be in conversation, it may face to face, or it may be means whatever type of decisions are required to be taken in time, those must be taken to avoid any degree of delay. I am not saying do it before decided time, but it has to be kept in view that we have to record somewhere all these. And this is what coordination and communication means. Communication means it applies everywhere in life. Continuously we communicate, we have to keep in mind. Silently we communicate, with eyes we communicate, with tongue we communicate, with speech we communicate, and with signs in mind we communicate, with signals we communicate. Communication is multi-layer, it's not single layer. Sometimes we communicate in such a way that everything cannot be recorded, and it doesn't matter. In engineering world particularly, in construction world particularly, you cannot record everything, because a communication is continuous. Coordination may not be continuous, but communication is continuous. So I tried to write something on this, very, very little you can say, not extensive. I'm just thinking, every day I think on this, and will write every day something, if not every day, whenever I find time. So I started in very, very primitive way. It's that coordination is not understood by many professionals and others in its right required spirit. It's a fact. It's a fact that coordination exists. It forces everyone. Coordination, I can say, its requirement, rather I should say coordination requirement, work requirement forces everyone to act. Coordination is not understood by many professionals and others in its right required spirit. Fact remains, reality remains, that without adequate and efficient coordination in professional engineering, works cannot be successfully accomplished. If I can claim, it shall be right to admit that coordination failure leads to engineering design and construction failure. Nothing is wrong in this contemplation. Nothing is wrong in this contemplation that it shall be right to admit that coordination failure leads to engineering design and construction failure. For many engineers, issue of coordination remains very delicate, and such engineers try to avoid involving in coordination and complexity and just expect something else should give final working drawings for work executions. Now I am talking about specialized coordination which has to be conducted among engineers itself. When we talk of engineering work, we do not talk of normal level work. We talk of work that impacts, that has to give service, and that has to live for years to come. We talk of that work. It's not ordinary assessment, ordinary link, or we can say we have to think at higher level, and that is important point about. We have to think at higher level, at that level where everybody else cannot think. In fact, I can say I have experienced that engineers from around whole world. Scenario, majority engineers, population do not have any interest in working on coordination activities due to essential requirement on concentrating or focusing constantly on engineering and in-depth technical issues involved. I am going point by point because we have to realize importance of coordination. We have to realize importance of standards of communication. Writing baselessly, writing relevantly, talking baselessly, talking relevantly does not make you professional. You means everybody, is not some personal one. So I can say, in fact, it has been experienced that professional engineers, working engineers in the field and from around whole world, many countries you can say, scenario, majority engineers means those maybe 70%, 80%, 90% population do not have any interest in working on coordination activities due to essential requirement on concentrating or focusing constantly on engineering and on depth technical issues involved. Every engineering has in-depth subjects, in-depth requirements. Engineering cannot be ordinary statement. Engineering is professional requirement. That point also we have to realize. It's not children game. Engineering is not children game. Just wearing my okay, sorry gentlemen, I was feeling a little cold, so I took my hot cloth up. All right, now what I say, and it is very important contemporary talk. I have been in field, and actually I prefer to work on sites whenever I was asked by many my seniors or those who had authority over me to place me on work wherever they wished. Many asked me, where do you want to work? You want to work on site or want to work in office? I always used to say, you decide. You place me where you want to. But no, particular they ask. It's really surprising. Okay, no problem. If you're not able to analyze and to get conclusive answer from my curriculum vitae details, it may be confusing, of course, but if I leave to them, it becomes a problem to them as well, I know. But no problem, it's time. You have to know work of site, you have to know work of engineering. When I'm talking of engineering, in fact, this is engineering coordination. It's not simple engineering, because engineering designs are different, means basic designs, but there is a stage where you have to design and you have to work. Or you may say, you have to know that I have this detail, these details are worth doing job. Got my point? I have these details, are these details enough to do the job? Means I have to come out of that stage where you can say, I got this drawing, I did it. I don't want to say that. I got this drawing or I got this information and I did it. What's my mistake? That's point. That's right point. Means you got this detail and you have to apply this. This is your duty. That stage is very junior one, you can say. Means even I've seen some people, some professionals who don't have understanding about whether or not this drawing is for real purpose of construction. Because there are so many titles on drawing, so many information on drawing, and somebody very raw from engineering thinks, I got this drawing and to do it. That stage is very, very, you can say, original, where there is no different understanding of what is the status of this drawing. What is the status of this one? And that's where learning starts. I don't blame that person who is hardworking, of course, and who has will to work and works, but whatever information that gets, that information is not clearly understood by that person, and that is why that person has to learn, of course. And I was also one of those long back, because I could not understand what was the meaning of these requirements. So engineering, when we call engineering in work, this is first is civil engineering. I'm not talking exactly of that. I'm talking of engineering on projects. When we say project engineering, which is not based exclusively on one professional field, it involves many engineering professional fields or branches, as well as other fields which do not have anything directly to do with engineering, civil engineering, but those are involved in field without which work cannot be done. So we must have that idea. So we can define project engineering in different tone than normal engineering. Project engineering involves all other requirements, all other fields that have given their respective details for that project. All those fields or disciplines you may call, that is called engineering, and which to do engineering, it remains very difficult for everybody, cannot do that without learning. And that learning comes from experience. What sort of experience one has got, or if you want to customize to new requirements, job training is required to be given. It is essential. Job training is customized one, as you can say profiled one, which projects you have done. And that's why in interview they ask what project you have done. Have you done this project, or you have not done such projects? And that's why we have to answer, yes, I have done this project, I have done this and that. We have to explain just to make them understand, I know this job. So I, as I said, talk to many my colleagues in engineering. from many countries, not just I'm talking of my country, I'm talking people from various other countries, including England, including America, Middle Eastern countries, Arabic countries, Far Eastern countries. Many countries I've talked to and found difference exists. Majority of engineers are interested in field work, direct field work. I can say I have seen not very many engineers who are interested to work in offices, except planning and except quality, or except you can say estimation. Engineering people who work in fields, in sites, they are, of course, to maximum extent interested in practical works or physical works, and not exactly they are interested in engineering works, because even one person I still remember, I talked to see an engineer long back. He used to call himself a structural engineer. And when he talked something of doing job as such in office, and said, I would die in office. I cannot work in office. I am better at site as a structural engineer. So that person, I'm not saying why it's, but because its interest means its problem is communication. Everybody wants to coordinate, but coordination remains incomplete without formal communication. Formal means official communication. You have to communicate for lacking information. Information is lacking, it's not available, and you have to demand it. And it's a process, it's a part of process of communication, and communication is successful, and it's if successful you got information, and if it's got information you have to incorporate that information to replenish that deficiency which existed in that information. So you can say communication is that way important. It's a track. You can say communication is a track network where your information moves in from one end to another end. Communication is a track on your project in all directions. It's a track where you can move in this surrounding envelope and see what is missing or what is not missing, what is available or what is not available, and whatever is available, is it worth for doing this job, or we have to find more information that we use for this product or project. And it says that yes, it's very useful, communication is useful, coordination is useful, and in that person who is interested in coordination because of having good smart, you can say smart level, good level of power of communication, that person can be called suitable for engineering. And communication is very important. Writing skills are important, speaking skills are important, searching skills are important, coordinating skills are important, or you can say linking stages, linking links are important. Such person, such professional can be estimated, can be assessed to be suitable for high profile job of coordination. And coordination means you have to think of information first. You have to see for yourself what is required, what is not required. Only then you can question others. And that's what's coordination engineering, I call it. Coordination engineering based on information from other engineering and conventions and national and international regulations on that. All points have to come into picture when you do coordination and communication. And that's why I said I have experienced that engineers from around the world, whole world scenario, majority engineers population do not have any interest in working in coordination activities due to essential requirement on concentrating or focusing constantly on engineering and in-depth technical issues involved. Problems are not counted in numbers. Whatever problems we have, we cannot just count and rely on in numbers. Problems are not counted in numbers, but in considering gravity gravity of situation that we encounter, that we meet. Problems are not counted in numbers or in area wise, volume wise, or you can say, but in considering gravity of situation and complexity, or you can say in strong decision making related to whatever work items are involved. Decision making means we have gone through many requirements here, means gravity of situation we have to see, and that cannot be described. It varies from problem to problem, it varies from item to item, it varies from requirement to requirement. It can change, of course, depending on what we want to include on that permanent activity or permanent product. So you can say it's very important point that we have no gravity or we have gravity, what level of that gravity is, of that state, that situation, how complex is it, can we comprehend it, or can we, if we cannot comprehend it, can we break it into pieces and see, break, I mean intellectually break, it's not physical break into pieces and see then how complex are they, or we can reassemble after breaking. And we there's a complexity, that this is complex situation, and strong decision making is required on that. A strong decision making means you have to consider all whatever you have and then redefine what you think according to update or knowledge. And of course, you have to understand very well before doing that. So this complexity and strong decision making is related to whatever work items are involved. And also we can say coordination definition for sure. Coordination definition is for sure necessary to be understood for its real meaning, so that no mix-up, no mixing results in. We don't have to mix everything. It's like that. Maybe we have all these requirements, but there's a time phase, there's a time in sequence which can be allotted to this state. There's a decision making related to whatever work items are involved. Coordination definition is for sure necessary to be understood for its real meaning, so that no mixing of results no mixing results. Mixing means a state of confusion in work. Mixing means a state of confusion in work, and state of confusion indicates right activity related to work cannot be carried out at that moment when we have problems or solutions. It happens with everybody in life, everybody. So we can say, if we move further, mixing means a state of confusion at work. And state of confusion indicates that right activity related to work cannot be carried out. And in construction world, particularly structural and buildings, constructions, no limitation of drawing and details access, that we know very well. Even for a small building or structure, categories of drawings and details remains same as it could be a major building. For a small building or structure, categories of drawings, details remains same as if it could be a major building. It depends on designing professional. It depends on designer, you can say designing professional, about how to apply drawings. have to apply drawings and detailing so that construction, so that you can say construction personnel should not refer back all times for confirmation or clarification of various issues involved. Coordination can therefore be defined in a way that all branches of engineering and all disciplines involved in ongoing activity must be clearly described and detailed in, so that no information is left that could hold activity or part of whatever activity. Even if even one small information is held without details or is not formally confirmed, activity can stop or it shall be carried out based on correct or incorrect knowledge possessed by site team, which work could be in contravention of what designing team contemplated, leading to formal error. You try to get this point. It's very important one. It's just beginning of this paper, but it's important one. We have to go in long way in elaborating coordination. It's not simple definition. We have to elaborate activities. We have to elaborate requirements. But here, just for reference, because it is writing, contemplated writing, not copied writing or referred writing, it is original, you can say, mental work in writing of such document, such paper. It's also, you can say, requirement that if suppose one information is not available or its details are not available or it's not confirmed or clarified if required, in that case we can say that activity can stop, or it may be affected, it may be implemented, it may be engineered incorrectly or correctly, both ways. We may say that correct or incorrect knowledge possessed by site team, which work could be in contravention of what designing team contemplated, leading to formal errors. If we reach a stage on project where errors are done and these were not covered, you know what happens in civil construction? Means that your resources have gone waste, your resources employed for that act have gone futile. Because of what? Because of lack of information, lack of demanded information or necessary information, even if it was not demanded. Why should I demand? My question comes in, why should I demand? You have to give me information. If you are a designer, you have to know how shall this work be done. You have to draw in such a way, you have to design in such a way that you don't find any such problem where how work is to done, how is work done is to be contemplated. Already we have contemplated, that's the reason that work is done every day. But sometimes what happens in engineering, there are so many requirements for one item, so many pages, so many specifications. and we have to go through those specifications. If we do not understand the specification, we can do incorrect work. So my statement is very simple, and it is, if even one small information is held without details or is not formally confirmed, activity can stop or it shall be carried out based on correct or incorrect knowledge possessed by site team, which work could be in contravention of what designing team contemplated, leading to formal errors. It's also a fact that no subject or no branch of coordination engineering is available at any diploma or degree level, even if it considered up to doctorate level. Information is far away. What I'm talking is subject or branch. Forget branch, even subject. Subject of coordination is not available, and no chapters are available, and everybody talks of quality system. But why quality is required? Why system is required? Maybe system makers know it, but everybody does not know it. It may be wrong, but people think that is quality. It happens. Wrong understanding, wrong view can become conventional. And it happened. Of course, there's no subject, there's no concern, there's no seriousness, but all senior position jobs, construction engineering, talk of indirect quality system or quality that is to be considered and applied on that work. I don't know why our engineers in the world did not think it so far that without quality, without coordination, engineering fails. We cannot call it engineering. That is worth point. That's point where we stand. It is an important issue. I do not blame anybody on this. Whole society of world is to blame itself. We have many subjects in engineering. If you can add quality and coordination also, or all such relevant requirements, that has to be studied. We cannot leave it to time that I donate you now, I present this to now, and then later on you have to use it. It should be worth, it should be calculated one. So absence of this subject explicitly indicates and evidences, or you may say establishes evidence, that education professionals do not understand value of engineering coordination. And I don't say it's their fault. They are teachers, professional teachers, who have to teach students everything. Everything we have to teach. Otherwise, we cannot survive. We have to. The absence of this subject employee explicitly indicates and evidences that education professionals do not understand value of engineering coordination. Value of engineering coordination. Very interesting it is. What is value? How to measure value? How to compute that value? And on what basis that value exists are so high profile recognized. Moreover, it cannot be called educationist alone. Educationist's fault. How can I say it's educationist's fault? Because they do not remain active in field of engineering professions and therefore not subject to practical field professional experience. It cannot be called educationist's fault because they do not remain active in field of engineering professions and therefore no subject to practical field professional experience. Yes, take again. Moreover, it cannot be called educationist's fault because they do not remain active in field of engineering professions and therefore not subject to practical field professional experience. Coordination is unlimited. Coordination is unlimited and it can expand its vistas to unlimited areas involving many disciplines in one branch of engineering and also import various branches of engineering depending on what class of works are affected. We also seen era of coordination activities when there used to be no electronics. We also seen era of coordination activities were conducted when there used to be no electronics related technologies, or we now call it information technology, but wherein lot voluminous works were carried out on civil, electrical and mechanical and architectural engineering coordinations. Even in that era, works of coordination were very much time consuming due to fact that even drawings used to be manually drafted or drawn. It's an important point here. Coordination engineer would be appointed had professional being experienced on considerable size of sites and having just one engineering discipline knowledge could be successful for efficient working on site and progress marred or errors were caused. This is very important point we have to understand first. Some helpful situations forced professional engineers to work long hours to have firm grip of design details and correlated one discipline with other discipline one by one, of course consuming considerable work time. I repeat this point. Such unhelpful situations where coordination based, you can say, such unhelpful situations forced professional engineers to work long hours to have firm grip of design details and correlated one discipline with all other discipline one by one, of course consuming considerable work time. An understanding of coordination, definition, and respective description makes certain difference on works. We may not call it teamwork. Certainly, because just a minute, please. Yes, it's that such unhelpful situations forced professional engineers to work long hours to have firm grip of design details and correlated one discipline with all other discipline one by one, of course consuming considerable work time. An understanding of coordination, definition, and respective description makes certain differences on works. We may not call it teamwork. Certainly because coordination cannot be done effectively by team by certain perfect getting through all related details available of schematic designs as well as on other documents and of course professional market conventions. Members of project team are required to extend engineering support to engineering coordinator, without which no coordination actively would move, whereas engineering professional involved on every coordination has to take personal involvement on every provided information for purpose of into depth of every requirement. We have to see that in long run it's only initial. You may say it's just introductions I'm giving to you, because we cannot jump down from coordination in a way it has to be done. We have to move it perfectly, proficiently, engineering way. We have to get this point. We have to keep ourselves intact. It's not start, it's not end, it's just, you can say, beginning. And we may say works quality. Again I can say works quality cannot be compromised, and therefore we do not intend to compromise just in name of fragile existing quality system. Quality system is not bad, I'm not saying that. As I said, we have annexures in quality systems. Those annexures are also our designs, and when it is something we designed ourselves, we have to respect that. And design is not easy. It considers all aspects in life. And we have, you can say, very expensive projects all over the world. not just construction projects. Construction projects involve all other projects. When we talk of plants facility, as I have spoken many times, every discipline is involved in plants facilities or in construction buildings, or you can say infrastructure, whatever. We have to see everything. Even in our dreams we see projects. You do know that? If you think of projects, if you think of engineering, if you think of coordination, nature helps you, and I believe that I get information in my dreams also, and that dreams is not just dream, it is future, and sometimes we get direction. And that depends on concentration. I can simply say concentration is part of our life, and without that it's a requirement of what we say. And against that, no seriousness has been observed among engineers from all branches about quality requirement with no known reason, and why we are not serious in quality regard is also unclear. There's no answer from any end why we do not have quality input, why we do not have that approach in our working. No material of product in our market is available that can give or deliver quality performance, yet quality marks are owned by everybody. And how it is possible? There's no science to understand that. It's understood very well. I cannot with closed eyes say quality is fine. I had to open my eyes, mental and as well as physical, to make sure that quality exists. It's make sure, not simply trusting on certain certificate. It may be whatever, we have to be very careful about this. Again, I would say that it is my surety that I consider engineers have gone beyond tolerance. They have gone beyond something, and they have ignored about quality implementation, quality compliance or adherence, and of course it cannot be referred to. It is a requirement. If you stay in profession of engineering, you are a big person provided you keep its honor. You keep its non-product subject or product only where it's essential. That's why I'm trying to explain this very important, and because we have to move to very important discussion on quality related to, you can say, concrete itself, and we consider that concrete is our part in life. Concrete cannot be played with, and if we play with, we can say we play ourselves. It's just a page from some specification of concrete. Concrete is our life, we have to say. So we can say in civil engineering, we can keep a string like this, that quality is to be achieved based on coordination that we just talked of, very little talk. Communication is also support for that, and we have to apply this to certain material that we have to produce based on natural raw materials. And we understand in current scenario that concrete is top significant material in engineering, in construction, in development. Without concrete, we cannot move further. It's such a material. When it was beginning in life, I could not understand what concrete was because I was not inclined to engineering. Even if I'm not inclined to engineering, I was not inclined that time, but circumstances forced me to enter into field of education. I agreed with that, and I am here as a product in world service. In concrete is such a material which is a team itself in materials consideration. Various team members are available, and therefore it takes a little more time to understand comprehensively, and it's very important, we can say. Concrete is that material which is yours and mine. We cannot say it's not mine, and you cannot say it's not yours. This is for everyone, common product, common material. There's nothing in life we can say we can avoid such material. We cannot avoid using concrete. It is used everywhere in one form or other. But we may not note it. We ignore it, and that's why we can't explain. But engineers have to know it. They explain it. They have to explain it. Sorry. In this page that I am trying to show to you all last time also, in past talks also somewhere this was referred to. This is just a plain specification of concrete. Of course there is somewhere else, but wherever it is, after all, concrete pertains to everyone. It pertains to every individual, every organization. It is something, as if we get some solid. If you don't trust, if you don't respect, if you don't rely on this, we can say we rely on nothing. Concrete is not simply a material, it's life now. It's part of life. I am living in a room which is made of concrete. I have been living in this nation which is a concrete jungle, and I worked wherever it is concrete only. A kind of seriousness must exist in concrete production. Concrete, people do not understand. People only understand mix of cement, dust, aggregate and water is concrete. They don't understand more than that. Some people don't even know name. What's name? Concrete. No problem, it's not their fault. Concrete has some strata. It has some index within this. Where are references? It is implementation. This is one specification only for reference. It's not that I have to accept this in every respect. Just it is introductory, you can say. How do people want to form something? Though meaning of concrete is also not defined in this. We have to define ourselves. Meaning of concrete, and you can say dictionary can define it very well, or even if dictionary doesn't define it, we do concrete, we can define at least in our profession. It may not be other profession. Concrete can be defined very well, understood very well, but it's extensive extras. It's extensive with, we can say, vistas. We have to understand, and we have to profile that well. In this page, it says section includes requirements of concrete work. Section includes requirements of concrete work for whatever requirement, for whatever. It may be pipeline, maybe road work, it may be runways, structures, water retaining structures, foundations, basis of structures and equipment, whatever it may be, whatever. And we can see that it's very important to understand concrete, because concrete is not simply material. You may say concrete is technology, exclusive technology on which depends our performance. Concrete cannot be isolated currently from our life, and that is also a fact. Concrete plays very important role in our works, on all works, every work. And concrete is in fact an artificial material, very useful, purposeful, powerful, and of course it is major part of project everywhere. It may be structural steel project or some other steel project. Concrete is involved, and we can say concrete means decisive person, because concrete itself is decisive. Important point is that what is concrete, how it is, that we know, but this book says we have to know as much as possible. It's our duty. We cannot look at faces of others all the time, but think something for us. It says that therefore this part includes relevant standards, definitions, abbreviations and requirements for testing facilities, rejected materials and for record keeping. In this case we can say there are related sections which I have talked many times. Even I am talking now. There are certain parts in the sections which are very important to understand, and that is aggregates. We are just trying to give you what is important. How do we think, or how some ignorant person thought that time. We say aggregates, see components, parts. I'm just trying to tell how do we produce internally as well as externally. The list tells something about that. It's not complete, however. We have to be clear about this. As I said, aggregate, cementitious materials, water admixture, property requirements, concrete plants, transportation and placing of concrete, formwork, curing, reinforcement, construction joints, inspection and testing of hardened concrete, protective coating to concrete, hot weather concrete, hot weather, sharp-based concrete. We can say curing, reinforcement, construction joints, inspection, testing of hardened concrete, protective coating of concrete, hard weather concrete, miscellaneous, precast concrete, pre-stressed concrete, water retaining structures. And likewise, there are so many other descriptions of other sections. It says, for example, general quality requirement assurance and quality control, foundation and retaining structures, roadwork, drainage works, mechanical and electrical equipment. So many. We have to go to one by one, only then we can understand facts of that. If we talk of quality, we have to think of quality from various point of views. It has to be seen from various point of views, because here we are talking of quality and coordination, very important one in this. How we can do that? I'm not finding any. There is one concrete quality, an overview, science, direct topics. Let us see what it says. I'm not having any reliability on this. Let us see what it says. It says concrete. If it's good, I'll show you. It's just one to read. Concrete quality, monitoring of concrete quality through resistivity results as much easier due to non-destructive resistance. So, as assessing a concrete resistance to chlorides and ingress using formation factors, we have done already. Well, this introduction is assessing concrete quality specifically to determine its resistance to ion ingress. Maybe, I don't know whether we discussed this before. It's very important one. Let us see again if we can. I don't go back. I'll have to put a print here and see if I can show you. We'll just have 2 minutes on to see this, what to do, how to do. Because if something comes to my mind, it should be done. And that's an important point. It's only a few seconds will take and we'll do it. I just to read this, if not doing more than that. As coming out, print and see how it works. And this is titled as assessing concrete's resistance to chloride ion ingress. This point here. It's come here, and now we can see how does that work. Monitoring of concrete quality. This is science direct, concrete quality. Monitoring of concrete quality through resistivity result is much easier due to non-destructive characters of measurements. It's sometimes very easy to understand what to talk of. Quality concrete, when you're talking is quality concrete. That's what we're talking as, monitoring of quality. What happens when I'm moving up here? There's something wrong here. Monitoring of concrete quality through resistivity results is much easier due to non-destructive characters, and it is something different here. I'm not listening. Let's go to assessing concrete's resistance to chloride ioning. This is one point here, so corrosion and just one information I'm just sharing because I got this page. And its introduction means assessing concrete quality, specifically to determine its resistance to ion ingress. Ion ingress means ionization, ions coming in, pouring in, has gained increasing interest in recent decades. One particular method that has been receiving increased interest is use of electrical resistivity or conductivity to assess straining transport properties of concrete. Transport properties of concrete transfers in a couple of hours. It's not whole day transfer. I don't trust it. It's a very important point we are discussing, and that is assessing quality of concrete from chloride penetration point of view. In this case, one particular method has been receiving increased interest is use of electrical resistivity or conductivity to assess transport properties of concrete. What are their points? Particular method is electrical resistivity or conductivity. Numerous studies were completed. Resistivity to diffusion coefficients. Resistivity to diffusion coefficients is and other transport coefficients, including various writings. I don't go into that. While these correlations have shown reasonable agreement, with this chapter shall highlight why when assessing concrete quality, formation factor may be preferred to resistivity alone. Now, by beginning describing background of electrical property measurement, that is resistivity and conductivity in cementitious materials, and define formation factor. Formation factor, a microstructural material property. Formation factor, where's that? I'm sorry. Yeah. Formation, I missed something. I'm sorry. Where's that? Yes, this have been describing this formation factor, a microstructural material property that describes pore network. Pore network can then be related to diffusion coefficients of different ionic species. That is what we have to say. Formation factor, which is a microstructural material property that describes pore network, can then be related to diffusion coefficients of different ionic species. This writing provides a review of experimental techniques required to determine formation factor, specifically connectivity, pore volume, and pore solution resistivity, and discusses role of degree of saturation. Degree of saturation. Procedure used recently to determine formation factors at different degrees of saturation presented. An illustration of formation factor measured on Portland cement concretes saturated with different concentrations of pore solution shall be presented along with formation factors measured for variations in Portland cement concretes with moderate water to water cementitious ratio. Lastly, process of developing power performance ranges be discussed. An approximation where we utilize an approximation utilizes surface concentration, reinforcement cover, depth, and formation factor to approximate the time to corrosion initiation. The remainder of talk discusses future research requirements in advancing use of formation factor in specifying durable concrete materials. And the self-complete concrete, we have gone through this long time. Even then, let us repeat because it's a technical one and it's different, important. Resistance to segregation. Segregation, you know what is segregation. Segregation significantly reduces concrete quality. It's against quality, you can say. Resistance to segregation, we have to discuss. Segregation significantly reduces concrete quality, which subsequently leads to problems during service life of structure. Segregation is caused by differences in gravity of constituent materials. Sedimentation may take effect either during flow due to stress gradients. That is, segregation is caused by differences in the gravity of constituent materials. Sedimentation may take effect during flow due to stress gradient. Sedimentation rate of a single particle, worst case, can be calculated from Stokes' law. We already studied that. Larger density differences between particles, larger density differences between particle and matrix, larger particles and lower viscosity of higher sedimentation rate. Only limited fundamental research on segregation has been carried out, and is unfortunate. And to achieve cohesion and segregation resistance, we have to stop that segregation. So this must have resistance. Achieve cohesion and segregation resistance. Viscosity modifying admixtures. Viscosity modifying admixtures are sometimes added to fresh concrete. Also, addition of fine particles has been proposed to facilitate robustness with regard to sedimentation. Polygorsite with an aspect ratio, length diameter of more than 35 is claimed to produce high skill, stable. We may say also addition of fine particles has been proposed to facilitate a robustness in regard to sedimentation. That's very important part, but it's not clear anyway. Damage analysis and cracking model of reinforced concrete structures with rebar corrosion. Effect of concrete quality. To examine effect of concrete quality, on expansive pressure, same reinforced concrete example is used. Normally, tensile strength is considered to be a key factor in corrosion-induced cracking of concrete. Corrosion-induced cracking means cracking due to corrosion. Concrete with a large tensile strength always has a larger compressive strength. We choose for compressive strengths rather than tensile strength to illustrate effect of concrete quality on expansive pressure. We may say 25, 35, 45, 55 MPa. All other parameters are same as those mentioned above and those. So what do you say effect of concrete quality? We have to consider various other ways. Here we have to read all this. It says that this figure shows effect of concrete quality on expansive pressure. It can be seen from figure that peak value of expansive pressure increases with strength of concrete. That is because that better quality of concrete. Now we come to another point, and that's the effect of concrete quality on expansive pressure. It can be seen from figure that peak value of expansive pressure increases with the strength of concrete. Peak value of expansive pressure increases with strength of concrete. And that's because that better quality of concrete illustrated by higher tensile strength shall heighten bearing capacity of concrete. You can see here a chart, expansive pressure in MPa, and this is crack length RCRL. Here are four, red one, bottom one that is 25 MPa, then another violet type that is 35 MPa, then there is FC yellow type 45 MPa and 55 MPa top. These four are shown, and you can see that generally very small variation is possible in orange type. So we can say that you can see this relation between MPa that is daily routine, with which we may say evaluation of concrete quality lateral pressure test. See, evaluation of concrete quality lateral pressure test. Evaluation in situ of concrete quality, uniformity, grade of deterioration, strength becomes important when reinforcement concrete structures present visible defects as fissures, lack of mortar, damage produced by fire. Evaluation of concrete of existing structures is generally made, determining compressive strength as it reflects direct or indirect way most of other concrete properties. Determination of in situ concrete strength is made in most cases by means of tests performed on samples extracted from structures. Sometimes this procedure presents some technical problems, as it's necessary to extract many cores to assure a reliable strength level. In some cases, due to characteristics of structure, cores cannot be drilled, and damage produced to structural element, high density of reinforcement, thin elements, etc. Unknown destructive tests are used to evaluate concrete strength in situ due to problems mentioned before. Use of NDT makes possible to determine different characteristics of concrete without producing damage or destruction of element under study, presenting other advantages as that they are quick, easy to use and economic. During years, many studies have been made on application of different NDT, and also new test methods have been developed. In Argentina, several NDT based on different theories of fracture were developed. Methods of localized pressure, torsion, and lateral pressure can be mentioned. It must be mentioned that using NDT available at present, absolute values of strength cannot be obtained. Nevertheless, some NDT quantifies some properties of concrete, directly or indirectly related to mechanical strength. Strength can be estimated with errors that are acceptable. So, we can say results of some studies performed with method of lateral pressures are informed. Relationships between a compressive strength and rupture loads quantified with NDT are established on concretes of different characters. Variables as strength, level, age, type of coarse, aggregate, and pure concrete also analyzed. Assessment of structures or industrial plants. It's also very important one. Structural plants is on industrial plants, you can say concrete cover measurement. Very important point, concrete cover measurement. Say thickness of concrete cover measurement is usually part of concrete quality control in modern construction, so as to ensure that thickness of concrete cover in conformity with the specifications. Process of measuring thickness of concrete cover in structures was noted by beginning of corrosion, as lack of concrete cover thickness increased corrosion rate for corrosion as a result of chlorides or carbonation. It expedited propagation inside concrete, causing speed of steel corrosion, as well as lack of cover helps propagation of moisture and oxygen, which are form of main basis for corrosion process. Be back, please. Okay. really it's a matter of concern. We have to think of this. Cover is very important item. It's not cover actually. It's called particular carbonation, and you can say chloride penetration, steel corrosion. It's very important here. We may say that here process of measuring thickness of cover, concrete cover in structures is actually related to corrosion of steel. Lack of concrete cover thickness increases corrosion rate because of chlorides or carbonation, where it exploited in progression inside concrete, causing speed of steel corrosion. Lack of cover means chances of corrosion. Cause of corrosion is just one. Measurement of concrete cover thickness explains cause of corrosion and identifies areas that have capability to corrode faster. Measurement of thickness of concrete cover needs to be defined in x and y axis in order to determine thickness of concrete cover at every point on structure. Equipment which measures thickness of concrete cover is simple and high technology. Now, all this we have done. So, concrete cover and that is approaches for improving sustainability described above are all perfectly feasible with our current understanding and technology at a modest cost. There are a number of other strategies that might also be followed. These are not necessarily fully developed as yet. May not be economically viable, but form at least a part of roadmap for future. Certain proportions of calcium oxides, SiO2, Al2O3, we say all these in rock kill feed in order to produce Portland cement clinkers. We are not going to in that history now in this talk. Just we have to see how best we can do something, and these are all, we have to think this way only. We may say quality system or specifications. We have a long way to go in this. I'm not saying we have to go one by one, but important part in this actually controls on quality of concrete, which is of course the responsibility of engineering. And we cannot exclusively say it is contractor's responsibility. Of course, contractor is paid for that. That's why we relate it to that. But we simply say in contracts, in specifications, that contractor shall carry out test procedures required by this section and whatever other tests and procedures as directed by engineer from time to time. Contractor maintains on site full records of all work carried out accurately related to location of work on site, and we should have on record time, date when all concrete was poured, formwork removed, and when formwork props were fully removed. Cubes and other tests, daily maximum minimum temperature. We cannot just jump on every state. We cannot simply jump on. We have to understand our ways are not just in direction of this, but we have to understand to talk. And combined aggregate, we have washing and processing, lightweight aggregate, coarse side, and of course we have to go through more requirements. It's no end. We have to go every time. Have to we have to fit in ourselves. How can we go further? So pricing, we have to understand that. We have to understand that. It's a very important point, and we cannot run away from that. In fact, we are talking of quality and coordination, and we can say, in fact, we can say how to check quality in concrete construction. There are so many pages on web. This is, of course, very common. We understand there are so many methods. For example, you can say how to check quality in contracts. You can start this as prints. We have to take out and we'll see. You have to be very careful for this, and this page is giving